Hello and welcome back to Harlan is in Danger. I'm your host, Tom, and today I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Mitch.
Hello, I'm also here, and today we are doing another Mythos Packized Scarlet Keys. We're just rolling right into the next one, which is why there's no change in clothing, but for you.
Don't worry about it. We're fine. We're just catching up on some videos here. Peek behind the scenes.
Time works differently in the ether of the internet.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and move us on from this conversation,
Let's
and
do
we're
it.
gonna look at some Guardian cards. So we got a couple good Guardian cards to look at in this pack. This is
Yes.
What pack did we say this was? I just got back. Beta. So in beta, we have the event Breach the Door, which is a level 0 event that lets you test your fist, and if you succeed, you get to attach it to your location with one resource on it for each point you succeeded by, and you reduce the shroud for each resource on Breach the Door.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun. This is a fun card. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's good for that sort of like tested 0 archetype. If you can take cards from that. If you're like Tommy or who's the other one? Will, I guess. Will Yorick, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it in that. Or it's just
Gotcha.
good. It's just good support for your teammates if you want to make it easier for them to get clues on a high shroud location or something.
It's a top tier 4-player card. Like, the bigger your group, the more exciting this card will be. And also, shroud values can also, like, they can have other effects. Either they can change, or enemies can harness the shroud as like a additional stat boost or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you can just beat that shroud down to nothing, I think that's a really nifty effect. I feel like it's stronger than it immediately gives off, and there's going to be certain campaigns it's better for. I don't know, or certain scenarios maybe.
Yeah.
So it's a great like adaptable choice. Yeah, I just think it's a really really cool effect.
This is such a fun card.
happy with that
I am so happy that it exists, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, same. It's just a nifty, cool effect. I think it's a little harder for us because in 2-player, I think its value goes down a little bit because...
Yeah, a little bit, but I still not much. Like, I still play it I play a lot of 2-player, and I still play it pretty consistently, so... Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still happy with it. Still happy with its power level.
For it.
Yeah, and then we also have Field Agent, which is a 4-cost level 2 ally asset that gives you +1 intellect, and as a lightning bolt you can exhaust Field Agent, Dealer of Horror, and discover a clue at your location.
Fantastic.
It's just really good.
Just excellent all around. She's basically beat cop for clues.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I like that you can get 2 clues off of her. And the intellect bonus is nice. She can soak some damage for you. And also, she pairs really well with cards like Alice Lexley.
Yeah.
If you want to get both of them running.
Yeah.
Or anyone who wants to like pick up a clue while they're doing other things because it's that fast action. As a guardian, a quick clue. And guardians have ways to like boost her health or heal her. So fantastic.
Just really good.
Yeah.
Really glad it's in Guardian too. I think like
Same.
Seeker doesn't need this, Rogue doesn't need this. Mystic might need something like this, but it's fine.
It would, yeah, Mystic. I don't know. They do other things with their horror, though.
Yeah,
I think
they
this
do.
is a perfect complement to the Beat Cop card.
This is pretty good for it. Yeah, Guardian, definitely. Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't know why I brought Mystic up in the... I just have to. Every chance I get.
Exactly. Very flavorful card. Yeah, great pack for Guardians.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we built it, but I don't remember what we built.
Yeah, I'm just
I'm like,
having
this is
fun,
great.
re-seeing these. All right, Seeker's up next, and for Seeker we have Map the Area, which is very similar to Breach the Door, and Guidance
But
level 1.
weaker.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah. It like makes.
But it affects all tests.
Yeah. So it's different, but it's still like that same kind of like support. Sorry. So it's an investigation event where you add your willpower or your agility to your skill value for this investigation. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues at this location, you can attach Map the Area to it, limit 1 per location. You reduce the difficulty of all skill tests at attached location by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is, I mean, like, it's a really fun card because you can just be like, are we dying? Cool, I'm going to make it a little easier for us to stay alive. Or, Is
Right,
there a
right.
big boss coming? Cool. I'm just gonna like map this out, this little
Hmm.
location out, so like we don't have to worry about fighting this guy so much. Um,
Yeah. Is this a location with a mountain of clues? Do you have a weakness in your or a treachery in your threat area that you can't pass the
yeah,
test to get rid of? Get over into this location, that'll help you. Yeah.
yeah,
It's kind of it's not like a silver bullet for any one problem though.
yeah.
So I think it sometimes feels because I've used it before and I found that it's hard to assess whether or not you got enough value out of it. And so I think when I play it again, I'm going to be more conscientious about the scenario and where we're probably going to be spending most of our time. And if there isn't a specific location, then maybe don't bother playing it and just commit it. Otherwise, yeah, it should be doing its work.
I love this card, and I would play it anytime I have someone who has Seeker access. Like it's no, it's just like such an easy win, right? Like if you, as
Hmm.
long as you're like, I'm gonna spend some time at this location. But even like if you
Yeah.
don't spend a lot of time at that location, suddenly you're looking at that location again and being like, well, I have a big hard thing that I have to deal with that's in my threat area. Maybe I
Hmm.
just move back and just deal with it there because it's a little easier. I don't know. It just
Did I take this on our Forgotten Age run with Mandy and Rita? This one was off the channel. This is before we started
I
playing
don't think
live.
so. I don't think this had come out yet. Um,
Maybe it hadn't.
we played it. We played it in a custom campaign. You played it in a custom campaign with me.
Oh, okay. Okay, I did it in that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I played it a couple times now, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Nifty card.
and now for a card I've never played, and I don't think you have either. Guidance level
No.
1. You get to choose another investigator at your location who has yet to take their turn this round, and during that turn, their turn this round, the chosen investigator gets +1 to each of their skills and may take an additional action. Playing this does not provoke attacks of opportunity. You did play this in that same campaign that we played, that custom campaign. You played a 1 of this.
I did
So,
play it? Okay, I don't even remember.
it wasn't.
Did
It
it
was.
did I like it? Did I comment on
Uh,
it?
I don't think it was super impactful,
Okay.
but it was fine, I guess.
So here's the thing. As a seeker, typically your turn is generally speaking more valuable than everyone
Hey.
else's because you can get the clues. Unless you have a boss, because then the next is the fighter, whether that's the guardian or the mystic, it's usually one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But like so, but that all that to say, I do like that seekers do more support role. It just means that everybody needs access to being able to get clues as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you find an investigator who can do a nice merging of both. I mean, when I read this card, I pretty much just think of what's his name, the butler character, because this is a card
Carson.
obviously for him, Carson. Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves this, but I don't know about anybody else.
Have you played Carson yet? This is a tangent.
I've not,
Yeah,
I've not,
me
but
neither. I'm
he's
so
on
excited
my
too.
radar. Yeah, you've not played him either, huh?
No, I
Okay.
haven't. I haven't. I mostly play 2 player. And yeah. Anyway. Tangent.
Hmm.
Those are the
Okay.
secret cards. Pretty good. Not as good as Guardian cards in this pack, but pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. Moving
Guardians
on
won that something.
to the Mystic cards. All right, for Mystic cards we have Binder's Jar and Ghastly Possession. Both are level 1 cards. The Binder's Jar
Mm-hmm.
is an item that goes in your accessory slot, and you get +1 arcane slot for each enemy beneath Binder's Jar. Hold on, how does that work? After a non-elite enemy is defeated at your location, you can place that enemy beneath Binder's Jar, limit 2, and then when an enemy attacks you, you can discard a card enemy beneath Binder's Jar with the same trait as the attacking enemy to cancel that attack. Mouthful, but yeah,
Yeah,
you can use enemies to get extra arcane slots or cancel attacks from like enemies.
yeah. Kind of a lot to wrap your head around, but I think it's good. I think it's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely just love the idea of sucking an enemy's soul into a jar and just
It
being like,
does. Yeah, it would be really fun to play like a Safina deck with like Relic Hunter that uses this and
yeah.
the decorated skull, so that you just like steal their soul, their essence, their everything when you
Yeah.
kill them, and just
You're like a freaking vampire
Yeah,
running around.
just to be a vampire Safina deck. If Safina had not already been taken from our pool, I think that would be my next build because I just got really excited about that.
I think I would want to do that with Diana Stanley and do the same thing
Oh
and
yeah,
have both of us just vampirically
yeah. Because with Diana,
go ahead with enemies.
you could take the empty vessel as well, which kind of does the same
Right.
thing. No, you can't. Diana's the other way around.
I
Damn it.
can't. Oh, okay.
Sister Mary could. Sister
We could
Mary
do
the
Sister
Vampire
Mary with
Slayer.
it.
Yeah.
Sister Mary's not been taken.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Sister
there we go.
Mary. Vampire Slayer.
That's fun. All right, cool. Cool.
Yeah, thematically it's great. I do think mechanically it can do some stuff. It remains to be seen. It's in a really interesting space, so
Yeah.
I'm going to withhold judgment on that one because it's a pretty unique assortment of effects.
The thing that like is holding me back from like recommending it is I feel like I've played it and I just don't remember at all whether or not I liked it, which is.
Mm.
But maybe I just haven't played it. Maybe I've just thought about playing it, so I don't actually know. I don't know.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Have I played with this card? Who knows?
What about Ghastly Possession? How do you feel about that one?
Have I played with this card? I keep like almost putting this card in my deck, but I don't think I've actually ever done it because it's a mystic skill, which is cool.
Uh-huh.
It plays with Doom, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it like lets you replenish uses, which is also really cool.
Or replenish half of its uses. Yeah, I've not had a chance to play it yet, but that's mostly just from not playing a Mystic, specifically one that was using lots of charges or concerned about that. But the next time I do, this is like top priority. It's only an XP, and you get a wild for any test you want. You can make it 3 wilds for Doom, which is a little steep, but I think I prefer the idea of removing Doom or getting charges back from it.
Maybe I should put this in my Akachi deck. What asset would I use it on? Just my axe? Yeah, it's not as great. I mean, replenishing uses is pretty good, but maybe, probably not.
It's also an emergency Moonlight Ritual.
Yeah,
if you can't find yours,
if you can do it on a card with a test, right? Like that's the kicker. Is like it has to be on a card with a test. So I'd have to have Doom on my Runic Axe in order to remove it.
Oh, I see.
So that's.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's a little more restricted than I thought it was.
It's not quite. Yeah, it's not quite there. But like if you have like the what's the
So
book?
you can't use this with Blood Pact ever.
No, because that's not a test on Blood Pact.
Right.
But if you had like there's like that book that does damage for each Doom on it or something like that. Purple book.
Oh, the
Abyssal Tome.
It's in Abyssal Tome.
Yeah, it's I think it's an Innsmouth. So we haven't seen it yet. We don't know it exists, but might be good with that.
We don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We got Survivor cards. Oh, my computer's being something funky. Okay. We got At a Crossroads and Gumption. At a Crossroads is a dilemma. Maybe the only good dilemma. Is that right? Maybe one of the 2 good dilemmas. But you, when you reveal it, you get to choose either an investigator at your location. No, not at your location. Just any investigator may take an immediate action as if it were their turn, and then discard a card at random from their hand. Or an investigator may lose 1 action during their next turn and draw 3 cards. So here is the great thing about this card. Both of those options are pretty okay.
They're both bad.
They're not both bad. These are good options. I know you look at all Survivor cards with like this sort of clause of like, can I discard this from my hand as a Wendy so I can pass a test? And like dilemmas don't work with that.
Maybe that's what it is. But I'm looking at this going, it's going to make me discard, like, so I get the action, I like that, but then I have to discard a card at random from my hand. So I'll tell you what, I'll put this in Patrice, and that will feel great, because I don't care about the cards in my hand, ever, really.
That's true.
So just throw something away, and it's no skin off my back. And then, of course, what will happen is it will target my violin, and I'll lose that, and then I'll be super pissed.
Okay, that's not what's going to happen. There's like a very low chance of that happening.
Yeah, I feel like in Patrice, on the whole, it's probably for the best to use it to get the action. She needs those actions desperately. The other result, if you're out of cards, like if your hand's empty, then I guess it works as kind of like a nothing left to lose, sort of half of that
Yeah.
effect.
And this is like the part, actually, that bottom action I like a lot more because I will frequently spend an action to draw two cards or one card. Um, and like randomly just getting three cards instead of an action, that sounds pretty good.
Hmm.
Like there's very
Yeah.
rarely a time in Survivor where I'm like, oh no, I'm full of cards in my hand. Whatever shall I do?
Yeah.
That's they don't really suffer from that much success from having a big hand of
Yeah.
cards. So I don't know. I think like that one's really good. And it like if you ever are at a place where you have like eight cards in hand, get a free action. This doesn't
Yeah.
provoke attacks of opportunity, so if you're engaged with enemies, you can lose an action, get three cards to maybe deal with that enemy. If you're
Yeah, that's
playing
pretty
any
good.
of like the discard like improvised stuff that you can play from your discard pile, hey, maybe you just got something really good in your discard pile. That's magical land of dreams and stuff, but
My concern is the situation in which I have four cards. I need pretty much all of them, and I'd like to take the action, but I can't afford to do that, so I decide to take the cards, but I don't really need the cards because I already have what I need. But I'm just doing that to avoid not having to discard something I really want.
why
You
would you
know?
we're playing a card game. Why would you ever not need cards?
Because I don't want to get my weakness. Like, let's say I'm going down to the
Uh,
wire here, and I'm like, I just have what I need, and this shows up at the end, and it's like, shoot. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to risk losing something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have to like see it and play. I do agree with you that this one is definitely better than like the last one we looked at.
mm-hmm.
It's probably better than most of them, but there's gonna be situations I think maybe they're rare, but I feel like it will show up and I'll be like, ah, crap. Not know so much in Patrice, so I'll play it with her because
Okay.
that I don't think I'll mind.
That's good. I'm glad. I will say, like, actually, with every dilemma, one of the worst things is, like, you don't want to draw during your turn because you're like, ah, crap, what if I draw my dilemma now? That's not good.
Yeah.
So,
Gumption. How do you feel
Gumption.
about that one?
It's good. It's a good card.
Yeah, it is.
It
It's
makes your
very, very good.
tests easy. It makes it so
Yep.
Preston can pass a test. That's why he's on the art.
Yep. It seems like all it does is unexpected courage for an XP, but here's the thing. Now you can get four copies of unexpected courage in your deck.
Sounds good when you're Preston.
Right? Yeah, and then it reduces the skill test. So as long as it's a two or less, if you want to target something and pretty much auto pass, the power of it is a lot
Yeah.
stronger than it initially gives off. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think this card's great.
Yep. I like this one. It's a fun skill. All right. I guess last but not least, we have the rogues, and maybe actually they are least because I don't really like rogues very much. Fighting words. All right. So in this pack, we
Um,
get Hit and Run, which has a picture of Chuck Fergus. We
mm,
also get level 2 Chuck Fergus, which is Chuck Fergus, and we get Underworld Market, which sometimes
it's not
works
Chuck
okay
Fergus.
with Chuck Fergus, I guess. I ran out of steam towards that end. I don't really know what I thought was with Underworld Market. It's a good card, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
Let's start with Hit and Run, though. So this is the fast play during your turn. Put an ally asset from your hand into play. At the end of your turn,
Mhm.
if it's still in play, return it to your hand. Um, I think this quietly has some really good like abilities with like taking an attack of opportunity to just move or something like that, or play a card or something like that. Lets you just get a person out there really quick, let them get hit, and then let them run back to your hand once you have done the thing you need.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
which is maybe why it's called that. It's also good
Hmm.
with if you can do it with like the seeker cards that care about the seeker allies that care about their come into play effects, or I don't know, even like field agent. Just one cost, play her fast, take a
Yep.
horror from
Get a
her, get a
clue.
clue fast, and then later she comes back to your hand and reheals. I think it's just a pretty good
Mhm.
card. Um, yeah,
It's strange that it was printed in the way that it is because it's sleight of hand, and that card, I don't think a single card in this game has seen more like iterations through the taboo list than sleight of hand. I mean, that thing has just been abused to death by the taboo list. And I can see why. Like, I know why it's such a problem. This one apparently is not. as much of a problem for them to have printed it, but I feel like it's gonna teeter at some point. Someone will find some crazy broken combination. There's lots of allies that have interplay effects too, like, you know, art student or whatever. But
Hmm.
I mean, let's say laboratory assistant. You put her down, you draw two cards, you bring her back up, you put her down again, draw two more cards. That's not like the most broken situation in the world, but it is really powerful. I think you have to have. I mean, once you choose your ally, you're gonna know whether or not this fits in with what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing, if it's like Leo DeLuca, I mean, even that I don't think would be terrible to have with this because you throw him down for a resource, you basically get an extra action that turn.
Yep. It's basically
That's
swift
not bad.
resources. It's a two-card combo swift resource, swift reflexes.
Yep.
But still, that's not bad. And like you can take an attack of opportunity if you need to like do something with
Hmm.
that extra action. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just nice. It's nice that it's
Hmm.
fast. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. I feel like it won't become crazy overpowered, in the same way that sleight of hand did.
Hmm.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Why don't you use this on Dr. Milan, investigate 3 times, get 3 resources, pull Dr. Milan back, and then play him with the money you just got?
Okay, so if we're playing with the taboo list where sleight of hand is affected, then Dr. Milan Christopher exhausts, so you only get the one resource. But
Okay, fair enough. How about Chuck? What do you feel about him? Have you ever played Chuck?
I've played with the level 4 Chuck Fergus, um,
Okay.
which is good. I don't know how I feel about the level 2 Chuck Fergus because what was great about the level 2 Chuck or the level 4 Chuck Fergus is that he did two things. And that's really nice. And this does half as many things. And maybe it's still nice, but like I feel like they're kind of like he's kind of in this weird niche where it's like he wants to be like this sort of stepping stone to Chuck Fergus 4, the Chuck this one, but also he's just not going to be as effective in like any way, and it's kind of going to make you be like, crap, am I doing the right thing with this deck?
Hmm.
I don't know because like
I think for me, good.
I don't know like the what's really nice about Chuck Fergus 4 is you can like play a card, give it fast, and make it cost 2 less if you need it. Play a card, give yourself an extra boost on top of it, and make it fast or make it cost less, which is really nice. But doing only
Hmm.
one of those things is very like I don't know. It doesn't feel like good enough, I guess.
Well,
And
because you
that's
spent 4 resources just to get him on the table.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the level 2 version of Chuck Fergus doesn't feel good enough for me, and I think rather
Hmm.
than taking two level 2 Chuck Ferguses with the plan to upgrade them into level 4 Chuck Ferguses later, I'd just take one level 4 Chuck Fergus and then another one
Hmm.
level 4 Chuck Fergus later.
Hmm. Gotcha. I've not played either one, mostly because in order to put him in the deck, I need a deck that's jam-packed with tactic and trick cards, and I
Mm-hmm.
never feel like I have enough of those. So it just doesn't feel as though I've created a justification to include him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe that's me like overthinking it. I mean, he seems good. I'd imagine you just play him, and then you choose the reduce the it costs 2 fewer resources, and you play things like slip away or breaking and entering or sneak attack. You play those events. Actually, I'm not sure which of those actually count because I don't know what their traits are.
Those are
But
all tactics or tricks. Good job.
they are
Yeah.
okay. So it works with all those. So that's good news. So and then you're saving the money that you spent on Chuck to do that, and then after a while, you can start using the other benefits. I guess it does suck that you have to choose only one, but I don't know. They gotta maybe the plan is actually to figure out which of the three you prefer him to do.
Mm.
Like maybe it's important to you to just get the +2 skill value. You've got this event deck focused, but you don't have a lot of ways to boost your stats, and so you use Chuck to just do that boost because you can handle all the other things that you're doing.
That's
Maybe
that's
that's like how it works.
that's fair. Yeah, and I think like it's just yeah. I mean, for me, like it was just like I have Chuck 4 on the brain, and I'm like I just want to do
Yeah,
Chuck 4, and I feel like I usually buy things in twos, but I Chuck Fergus 4 was
yeah,
already one that I'd buy one. I'd buy a one of him because he was
hmm,
he felt that like good for that deck. Um,
yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know if I'd buy a one of Chuck Fergus too. I guess. So if I'm gonna buy two of them, I'd buy a one of the four already. I don't know.
What would you chuck a Chuck Fergus if you could chuck a Chuck
No,
Fergus?
don't do this. Don't do this to me.
Don't do this to-
I'm gonna be thinking about how to make that work all night. That's not okay.
How about Underworld Market? Have you played with that?
Yeah, this is a fun card. Yeah, this is a really fun card. It gives you more cards that you can put in your deck without actually making your
Putting them in your deck.
deck diluted by more cards. Yeah.
Hmm. It seems pretty good. I almost took it, but then I got a spoiler card, which already altered my deck, and so I didn't want the added confusion of this one. But yeah, it seems interesting. It weirdly just does not feel enormously beneficial at face value to me.
Hmm.
Like I kind of get it because I got to pay for these cards,
Yeah.
and they're already my deck. I guess it's sort of nice because I filter my deck away. I think I would have preferred just like a permanent fence though, because I would happily have paid for just having that in play and then building an illicit deck to lean on that. Instead, what I would want to do is put fence in there, which I know everybody hates. But the whole idea is that if you're playing a ton of illicit cards, you want as many illicit things as you can find. So if I have to dig for a card like fence just so that I can get this cool structure online, and you could just put like other things, like just because here's the thing: if
So
fence shows up, I'm not going to pay for that. I'm just going to pay for like the damning testimony,
so
whatever it
you
is that I
wouldn't
like,
buy
right?
fence. You wouldn't buy a fence from the underworld market because you can do that.
I could, but I wouldn't because there'd probably be something more valuable in there. But like what I'm saying is, it's like I guess it's like nice to tutor something up, but it doesn't like actually make any of my illicit cards better. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Like that's my problem with it. Whereas like fence does make them better, it makes them faster or it makes them cheaper, and I get at least at minimum one of the two. So I'm more interested in a card like that because then I can lean on it and see like, okay, I'm getting a benefit for using cards with this trait. But this is like, well, there's no benefit. It's just you got to pay, and then you can get it maybe a little bit early.
Well,
And it's like,
it's instead making them more consistent, which is like good, and it lets you put more cards in your deck, which I like. Um,
yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
like
mean, it does help consistency a little bit. Figure out you put 2 copies of all the 10 cards in there, so you only have 5 different cards that you're trying to dig through.
yeah,
Makes sense. Yeah.
and then you can have like just your one of the things that I like about it is like especially if you're a fighter, which is I played this in a Dexter deck that was using guns. That's I've talked about this
Okay,
deck
so this
several
was
times.
just packed full of guns.
This was just full of illegal guns that Dexter could take out and shoot people with. But then like I was just able to put like resource generation in my deck, and like cards that like helped me just
Okay.
get more out of those cards in my deck without having to worry about like, oh, do I have room for this? I have to be able to draw a gun, right? Like
That's
so
interesting. You just put nothing but guns in the
it was
deck.
just guns. It was guns in that deck. That was just Dexter's. I think I also had like the what is it and the thing you use, the treasure, the embezzled treasure in there as well. So like
Okay.
I could if I drew that later, I
Yeah.
had all these cards in my deck that were just giving me money. So I'd just be like, all right, well, boop, here we go.
That sounds awesome.
It was a lot of
All
fun.
right, you sold me. That's really cool.
It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun in Dexter. And Honed
So
Instinct.
that's how
That
to
was
play
also
this.
Honed
Just pack a
Instinct.
full deck
Yeah.
full
yeah,
of guns.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
Okay.
I mean. Like, and then like you don't have to worry about drawing your weapon in your opening hand, right? Like you can just be like, I just want economy.
Right.
Which is like you want economy in the first couple turns of the game, so you can mulligan for economy instead of like the weapon
Yeah.
that you need to play. Which is nice.
That
was
makes
that was
sense.
really free.
Yeah,
Actually.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. That sounds interesting. Now that I kind of know how to build the deck. I mean, because you know me, it's like I put the 2 guns in. Those are my guns.
Yeah, I do know that. That's why I'm the
So
fighter
I'll have
most
to
of the
build it
time.
differently. Oh boy.
All right, I think. Oh no, that's not the end. We have one more card to talk about, and that is Flashlight 3. Wow,
Flashlight level 3, which is broken. It's awesome.
it's just a good card.
It's super fucking strong.
I like it.
4 supplies, -2 to investigate or to evade enemies. It is an absolute solo card to a T because it's everything that you want it to do. The This is the kind of card that encourages you, I think, to actually get more supplies like Venturer
Yeah.
to refill it, because I think you'll really, really benefit from it.
Yeah,
You're getting
Venturer.
-2 to everything. It's just like it's gumption on like the most critical tests,
It's gumption on a stick. That's what a flashlight is.
pretty much.
Honestly, pretty much, actually, yeah.
Hmm.
It's a good card.
Won't help you kill bosses, but other than that,
It it could if you do like evade damage. Like
yeah, that's fair.
flashlight 3 with blinding light seems really good actually. Um,
Yeah, because it's a reaction. That's the huge
yeah,
benefit now, huh?
exactly. You can use
Yeah,
it with
stack
like
it.
your evade attacks, right? Your
Hmm.
what is it? Cheap shots. No, not cheap shot. The other one.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but yes.
Okay, whatever.
Hmm.
The evade one that does damage. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
not blinding light. The other one. There's probably another one, right? Ineffable truth. Actually, this would be a good like mystic fighter helps get clues card. Huh.
Hmm. Yeah, it would be. Use it with ineffable truth.
Yeah.
Deal damage, get clues,
Lower
evade
the shroud.
enemies.
Yeah. That's or lower the evasion. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Hmm.
I might that might be my
I
next. I gotta stop playing mystics, but that might be what I do next.
I really love too that you can just like pop, like let's say the shroud value is 4 and you're like I just can't deal with that, and you just pop 2, you get the clue. You do it again, pop another 2, get the other clue.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're in a situation where like that seems like maybe a waste, but imagine you're someone like Zoe and most of your clue tech, is drawn to the flame or rite of seeking or something like that, and you haven't seen those and you've got a high shroud. Or maybe you got a low shroud and it's like 2 shroud, 4 clues. You're
Hmm.
like, okay, just flashlight that to death
Yep.
and then move on.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like it's extremely versatile, very powerful, definitely worth getting.
Ooh, contraband. Contraband also just doubling the
Yep,
amount of supplies on there. Yeah.
get it up to 8.
Mm.
Or wait a minute, can you, if you venture first, can you contraband?
Up to
Does
10.
contraband affect its current number?
Yeah, it's you double its current number. So if you venture, if you're exactly Leo Anderson or Schizo Tool, God, that's not even that. That's or more. There's more that can do that, isn't there?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
there's a lot of investigators that can actually pull this off. You can venture into contraband and get 10 supplies on this.
Wouldn't that get 16?
If you venture everything over there and don't use it at all,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
How much batteries can we pack in this flashlight?
Well,
Oh,
because
you,
the other thing is, if you get a contraband unprepared for the worst, then it's like not that hard to combo with this because you've already got, one stashed waiting. So
ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's also emergency cache,
yeah,
level 3, which
yeah.
gets you supplies, and I think
It's
you can get 4 supplies,
you just
can't
get
you?
4 supplies, so that's basically, hey,
You
let's
just
reload this
refill this.
flashlight. Yeah.
Yep, that's probably better. That's probably a lot better.
You know what? I love this card so much. Let's just agree right
It's very
now.
good.
Next campaign, we're both taking flashlight level 3.
I mean,
That's our
this is
challenge.
this is not a broken card, but this is like an Arkham Killer card.
Yeah, yeah.
This will like win you the game. This will like advance what you're trying to do.
Um,
And now we just need an upgrade for knife.
it's
That
never
does the
it's
same.
never gonna happen. It's not. We're never gonna see upgraded knife. Everyone's always like upgraded knife's coming, and no, hate to burst your bubble.
I want upgraded knife.
Knife is perfect as it
Maybe
is.
this upgraded knife should do something like really weird, like because now it has to do something to affect the encounter deck because this one encroaches on evade territory. So maybe like knife is you exhaust it to take a damage, but then you can discard a treachery or something. You're like, the pain. That's what I want to see.
I don't want to see that.
Like no.
Knife is a perfect card already. We don't need to. You can put Doom on it. It'll discard. It's fine.
Yeah, you can put Doom on knife, and then you deal +2, like plus like 3 damage. It just ups it.
There you go. Use it with the
That'd be cool.
yeah. That'd be good. Mystic knife. Doom knife. I want a Doom
And do you
knife.
think it should damage you because you're, fighting some abomination or whatever? what are the
talked me
odds that
into
you
upgraded
could
knife.
kill that
Stop
thing
that.
and
No,
not hurt
stop
yourself?
it. Stop it. Stop talking me into upgraded knife. Stop saying you can put Doom on it.
Why don't you want an upgraded knife?
It's perfect. We don't need it. It's okay.
It's perfect.
How do you upgrade a knife? Like, I don't know. I'm not sold.
It doesn't
on this.
make regular knife go away. It just means that now it has a buddy.
I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't think we need to have
It will get people to put level 0 knife in their deck.
That's true. And then they'll discover that level 0 knife is actually pretty good, and they should have not been giving a crap all along.
And that's what we want.
Is that what we want, or do we want just to know that level 0 knife is just secretly a good card, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. We kind of went off topic there at the end, but if you stuck with us this far, thanks. And we'll be back next week to some point. I don't really know how time works still. To talk about
more
cards. And until then,
stay out of danger.